See, I'm a St. Louis nigga, a money go getter. No matter how I look,
yeah, we back up in this motherfucker one more again, baby. We doing this shit from my hood to your hood. Shout out to the Bill, the West Side niggas, the North Side niggas, Hillsdale niggas. Shout out to all the motherfuckers that made me the nigga that I am. The niggas that jumped in, jumped out, got away with it. I keep on telling you motherfuckers, y'all ain't cut from my cloth because they stopped making my goddamn fabric. Shout out to everybody. Frico, Lil Petey, Player, Ron, Kiwi, everybody that made the motherfuckers who I am. Shout out to Chucky. Go out here and holler at him for your grass cutting. Shout out to the motherfucking Lord Hate. Shout out to the league. Shout out to that old monk ass commissioner. He allowed this. He sanctioned this shit. This is a sanctioned show for the commissioner. But we back this week in OTAs. We starting the season off right. Yeah, we back up in this motherfucker one more again. This week in OTAs, bringing the season back. Bringing the season back the way we always do. So shout out to all you punk ass, puss ass owners, because I'm coming for the motherfucking title. So this week in OTAs, shout out to everybody that do this shit. Yeah. What's up, Lord Hate? Shout out to the motherfucker, my co-host. Give it up to my co-host, Lord Hate. Lord Hate in the building.
What's going on? What's going on?
Nah shit, man. What's been going on with you, man?
Doing what I do, hating. Because I'm the Lord of Hate. We're not going to talk about any other lords in here today. We're just going to focus on Lord Hate today.
Yeah. We're going to give a shout out to Lord Android in this motherfucker. Hey, we got to get to our sponsors.
Hopefully no tariffs go on them Android phones as far as that. Hopefully no tariffs go on them Android phones.
Man, listen. Get to our motherfucking sponsors on Broadway, 5026 North Broadway, owned and operated by our very own El Patron. Shout out to Ramon. Go out to the second location, Dr. J's, over there on Page and Vanderventer. BC Plumbers, owned and operated by the homie Lil Petey. Holler at him from all y'all commercial and residential needs. They are licensed and bonded. Then you got DJ Big L, weddings, bar mitzvahs. You're going in, you're coming out. Your baby mama got you off child support. You winning this motherfucker. Holler at DJ Big motherfucking L. So shout out to all our sponsors and all the motherfuckers that's out there doing it. Lord Hate. This week in OTAs, there's a lot of shit going down in OTAs. I got a few things I want to touch on. You ready for this shit?
Oh yeah, go ahead and get it off your chest, bro.
We got to start with the Browns. We have to start with the Cleveland Browns and their packed ass quarterback room. You got Flacco, you got Gabriel, you got Pickett, and you got the 5th round rookie, Shedeur Sanders. Who's the odd man out? Before I get to the odd man out, I want to make note. Flacco is projected, as of right now, to be the week 1 starter. He was with Stefanski and the Browns head coach at another place. So I think he got the leg up. What you think?
I see Flacco taking the position like he's been doing, taking the position from these young boys and coming in there and becoming the starter of that current team. I mean, you look at what happened last year when he played with the Colts. Came in there, did his thing. So, I mean,
when he came in there, what he did with the Colts, and funny you should mention the Colts, because we're going to touch on them niggas later. Flacco is still Flacco. Flacco has I wasn't going to say amazing resume. Flacco has a good resume. Super Bowl winner, vet in his league. I think Shedeur can beat him out. I just really do. And this is my thing with the Browns. The Browns are in an excellent position because they can turn around and build Shedeur up, trade his ass off for a haul, keep his ass on that 4th, 5th year option, let him go out there, see free agency, they match it, or to get the compensation. They in the driver's seat. All he can do is go out there and play for his next contract. That's all I'm seeing. So he has to go out here and perform. Flacco will get beat out. If Shador is not week 1 starter, week 4.
My outlook on that is there might be some overhype to this. And the reason why I say
Ooh.
you have to look at what the reason why he was drafted in the 5th round. They're
Wow.
not really putting that type of investment into him. So I don't really see them building him up to that point. And to be honest, look at the money that they invested in their quarterback of the past, which, if I'm not mistaken, he's still on the team. So from a financial
You
standpoint,
talking about that motherfucker that's going in there robbing them every week for that guaranteed 242 million,
hey.
walking into the motherfucking thing masked up. Bitch, you know what it is. You know, don't make me air this shit out.
Everybody signed on the dotted line. On the dotted line. So he's still on the team. And even though he got hurt, you know what I'm saying, is his career over?
Yes.
And so if his career is over, what we just doing? Holding up a roster spot? We gonna hold the spot for him for a financial reason, and we're gonna hold the spot for these other quarterbacks.
So who's the
I
odd
can
man
see
out?
them. I can
You
see.
notice that I didn't mention Watson in this little quintuplet fucking quarterback room. Watson is not a factor. We know he's not playing again this year, so he's not a factor. So
Okay.
he's already out. Now, as far as wasting the roster spot, I disagree with that. He get his guaranteed money. Cut him the fuck off. Cut him off.
How you doing, Russell Wilson, but not showing up to work? That's just me honest. And no, I'm not giving you a
Mm-mm.
discount or anything. You know, just make sure he ain't in the massage parlor. That's all we said. But I can see them. You know, he's a 5th round pick. So I'm just asking, if it wasn't Shador Sanders and this was another name, would we really hold that spot for him if he doesn't outperform some these other quarterbacks like a Kenny Pickett?
Yeah, if it was somebody like Cam Ward or something like that, at the end of the day, you still got to give it the recognition. Now, he gets a little bit more hype because he's
Mhm.
Shador, but I ask you this. I do numbers and stats and shit. Who leads all quarterbacks in percentage in all of college football history?
You got me, my man.
Shador Sanders. In 150 plus years of
Hmm.
college football, in all of the teams that ever played, and all the quarterbacks that never played college football, he has the highest completion percentage out of all of them. Your Tim Tebow's, your Vince Young's, your Cam Newton's, your Tom Brady's. I'm just saying, he didn't deserve to be a 5th round, my opinion.
And I'll say this in the great words of a great man that I've heard them say. If was a 5th, my glass wouldn't be empty. And I'm gonna leave it at that. He's an F for me.
He's an
Just
if.
he's an
Shador
F.
Sanders is it. You heard it here, folks. You heard it first. Shador motherfucker Sanders is an if.
It's just you ask what Laura Hate's opinion, Laura Hate gave
Lord Android gonna give your motherfucking ass the business for that. I'm
it.
just saying.
We'll see. You know, he's still telling me that Jay Brooks is a great pick.
Mm-mm.
We're
Mm-mm.
not gonna we're not gonna go there. You're right. You're right.
Listen,
Okay. Let's go to the next team, as you say in the
before we
OTA.
do, you never answered the question, my brother. Who's the odd man out? We already know Watson out. Flacco, Sanders, Gabriel, or Pickett. Who's out? They not keeping five.
Gabriel is probably the easiest person maybe to let go of. I don't see them letting go of Kenny Pickett because he has some experience in the league. So I don't
Mm.
see them doing that. We already see what Flacco gonna be starting. We already know that the nasty man's still gonna be on the team. So Gabriel is probably gonna be the person that's easiest to cut. But don't think that Shador can't leave too
And do what?
and get picked up by another team. He
That
might
was
be down there. He might be down there with his brother in Tampa if we need somebody to go ahead and do
this
something.
nigga. Not even 10 minutes in. You could 10 minutes. You couldn't get 10 minutes. You got some shit on your shirt.
He's an if, but Gabriel's probably the easiest person to let go of, and then after that followed by Shador. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, all right. Now, Moving on to the Vikings. And one thing that I noticed in OTAs with the Vikings is these are optional. Optional training. At the end of the day, some motherfuckers sit out. Every motherfucker on the Vikings roster is at OTAs. JJ McCarthy gets to go up against that Vikings defense every day at practice. That starting Vikings defense he gets to face, and McCarthy's getting some good shit off. I'm hearing good shit out of OTAs. Outside of everybody's there at OT, the Nakia Blackman, he was out of 2024, and everybody's hyping him up, this cornerback, and they saying he out there looking, he was supposed to be a Pro Bowler, and who was I looking at? Here it is. Let's see. I read what they say. It says they brought back Byron Murphy Jr., who was coming off a Pro Bowl season. Meanwhile, they also signed Isaiah Rodgers and Jeff Okadu, who are gambles. They could thrive under the Brian Flores' defense. Getting someone like Mikael Blackman back would help the signings as it would allow Flores to familiar faces and shit like that. It's a lot of hype going into this Blackman guy, and I wanted to go look at some tape on him. We're going to check him out. But that's what I'm hearing out of Vikings OTAs. Other than McCarthy, he does get to face that defense.
That same defense that I would say it looked good at the beginning of the season,
Mm-hmm.
but they was getting murdered in that secondary. They
Which
was
is why
getting
they was talking
murdered,
about these quarterbacks.
and they didn't, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't draft any cornerbacks this year in the draft.
Nope, they brought by Brian
So,
Murphy. He was a Pro Bowler at
mhm.
cornerback. I don't know.
I mean, you got to look at who they're also going up against, and they're going up against two teams that's supposed to have some high-powered offense and wide receivers. And
Like
so looking at Green Bay and who all those receivers that they have,
they got the rookie
allegedly,
Golden. They got
mhm,
Reed coming back. They say Reed done put on like 12 pounds of muscle.
oh
You
yeah,
got Love coming back. Some people hated on Love and stuff like that, but yeah, I think they have a high powered offense. You still got
you got
Josh
Tyler Croft
Jacobs.
out there too. Saying as they tight end. Also too, depending on how Dobbs do as far as that Romeo Dobbs, we'll see how they go. I mean, it's one of those things that I think they have a offensive weapons that is going to definitely challenge Minnesota's secondary. Also, too,
Mm.
allegedly down there in Chicago, and I say down there, not up there. I say down there because Caleb Williams still likes to get up and paint his nails after he's been sacked all this time in the league. We'll see how he does as
You
far as that.
just
But
gonna keep
they
on,
also
keep
have a
on,
problem with
keep
that.
on.
And then you got Detroit. So I mean, you going up against teams that have offensive weapons, and you did not draft any cornerbacks to help out with that secondary. I do know that Murphy looked good, but
But
that's
yeah,
because he
Murphy
was
had a
out
Pro Bowl
there.
season.
That's because he was out there a long time. So my thing is this. Okay, we'll see. But JJ, we'll see if JJ can do something. But until you show me something, you ain't did nothing.
Hmm. Dig that. I think JJ gonna come out here and do some shit. JJ's a good quarterback. The Vikings have a good offense, and I
Mhm.
think their defense, even a few years ago, before San Francisco took they defense to the next level. Last year was the Broncos, but the year before that, and the year before that, and probably the year before that, it was the Vikings. And I remember World Boss. Shout out to the World Boss. I think he had and Roy, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he had the Vikings defense before he started tanking. So I think they're gonna do their thing.
I mean, the you say we got to bring the tank
It's the
in.
truth. I'm not. And see, what they gonna do is you know what they gonna. Oh, he hating. He just a tank. Man, fuck that shit. Y'all know I'm against that shit. But Justin Jefferson, JJ McCarthy, that shit is poetic and magical. Hey, I like it. So, but he did have it before he started tanking. He did tank.
Say facts is facts.
Fact. You can't argue with facts.
You argue with facts. Who else is you liking out there in OTAs?
OTA. So you got Tennessee Titans now. The
Number one
Titans.
pick.
Cam Ward. Now, this is what I'm getting out of Tennessee. Cam Ward is not looking as impressive as motherfuckers thought. I'll read you a little bit of what they said. It says, midway through practice, he took off scrambling to his right to extend the play. Nothing was coming open. A quick side note. He's got his knack to truly extend on scrambles like this. He's not sprinting to the sideline. He's rather pacing on his rollout just to be a little bit faster than the guy he needs to outrun. He knows he has to get the juice out of the squeeze. On this rep, he uses his offhand to direct traffic, locking eyes with wide receiver Jackson, pointing out to where he wants to plant himself. A half a beat later, the ball is out of his hand, thrown across his body into the thick of the defensive swarm for Jackson. It's this kind of decision that every quarterback from a young age of 7 is taught to never make. It's dangerous. It requires extreme difficulty and accuracy on the move and quality decisions. So these are the things that they're noting on the number 1 overall pick.
I'll say this. I'd rather it happen in practice. I'd rather it happen now to correct it as opposed to happening in the game. And I'll say this. If he's
I
the
always
number
said
1 pick,
you play how you practice.
then my question is this, going back to a previous conversation, is that what we're going to say for Shedeur when he has a bad game, that he must have practiced bad?
Ooh.
And so my thing is with Cam, I think that, hey, Cam, give him some time. We're not asking him. Remember, he's still a rookie as a player. Look at who he's supposedly competing with. Are we hearing anything coming out of because I believe last year someone was talking about Will Levis like they were the second coming.
I do recall certain conversations about that. Will Levis was, I believe they say that nigga. If it was, I don't know.
But maybe I don't make mock drafts. I just don't. Because that's just not one thing that I do as far as that. Because until you show me what you can actually do in game time, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Everything else is video game play until you're actually in the real game. I think Cam Ward will be okay, but he's gonna have some struggles. Because look at who is he throwing the ball to? Who is he throwing the ball to? And so you got a Calvin Ridley who's old. You still, don't, and this is taking a shot because I'm gonna look inward because I still got Tony Pollard on my team. And TP still, I had a conversation earlier with someone about Tony Pollard and whether or not he's a dependable running back. And I was convinced that, hey, maybe he's a serviceable running back. But is he still gonna start? Of course, because who's gonna run the ball behind him? That's going to take his job. Nobody's done that to me in my eyes. So that's why he's still on my squad.
So
but,
he
think,
wins by default because he's the RB1 on the squad regardless.
That's how I see it as far as that. I mean,
it's kind of the same logic.
Okay. He's going to have to go through some growing pains. He's a number 1 pick. Most times when you have the team as a number 1 pick, they're not expected to go ahead and ascend to that next level. It's the Titans. It's the Titans. That's just what it is.
Yeah. It's kind of like, certain wide receiver that's the number 1 wide receiver on their team that was in a trade. You're going to put him in because at the end of the day, he's still the number 1 option. Who else are they throwing to? All I'm saying is this. Who else are they throwing to? Anyway, but I hear your logic. I hear what you're saying. Pollard gets in the lineup because who else is going to run the ball? I can see how
I mean,
somebody
I
else could
mean,
get in the lineup because who else are they throwing to? Dumb motherfuckers.
oh man, we gotta gotta say as far as that. I mean, it sounds like it's scripted, but it also sounds like there's a message behind of who they throwing it to.
50 of 26 on the Broadway. Get your lick at North Broadway. Shout out to El Patron. Listen, you're absolutely correct. It's not the shit. People they want to say shit like it's hate. I'm not Lord Hate. Hate Lord Hate hates to hate, and we know this. It's not a secret. Me, I call the shit like I see it. I'm not saying that he don't. I'm simply saying that I do. And all I'm saying is this, people. When I speak on shit, it's it's my eye, how I see it. So it's not hate. It's just who else is he throwing to? God damn it. So my whole thing is, man, I just call it like I see it, dog. Can't call
I
it no
got
other way.
some people that I was taking a look at, and it caught my eye off this mock
Mm-hmm.
that Team Commish, put out there. And if you don't mind, I just, wanted to say five people I was taking a look at
Uh-huh.
that
And I'm gonna go into the Colts, but shit, I want to hear what you got to say.
it kind of ties into that because I hear what you're saying as far as with who you're throwing it to, and even with the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
But also it matters who's throwing the ball. AR-15, I want to see how his second year progresses, and does he have that starting job?
Ooh, that's a good
And
question because one of the things I wanted to talk about was who do get to get starting job, Daniel Jones or AR-15?
well, before we go there though, I
Mm-hmm.
remember I was trying to shop Daniel Jones, and people told me he wasn't a starting quarterback,
I do recall that.
and so now he's competing. But
Uh-huh.
Mel Kiper would tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, but it is what it is. Somebody's got him on his team.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody got him on his team. And so
Mm-hmm.
therefore, if Daniel Jones is competing for what
Mm-hmm.
we would consider a high caliber draft pick last year with AR-15, how is he not having his second year, where he gets to still keep his job? He's competing with someone who may have been there in the league a few years that lost his job.
Mm-hmm. Ain't this
So
AR-13 third year, right?
this is AR's what? Yeah,
Third
his
year. So that
third year.
rookie year he was trash. Last year Flacco came and
Took his cookies.
took his cookies. Yeah, took his cookies.
Yeah. And so now Daniel Jones is there to finish taking those cookies out the oven.
Sloppy seconds.
And so I'm curious as to how that's going. But I will say with them, they have a good tight end that I'm looking at, and I saw that he was on this mock draft, and I'm just wondering your opinion. Is he the first tight end or the second tight end?
All right. I'm here. This is what I'm getting out of that. So the tight ends have been the most glaringly positive thing for me, especially seeing Tyler Warren, both in rookie camp and OTAs. He was obviously going to be fed the ball against his rookie counterparts, but that didn't stop during the official OTAs. When the rookies mixed in with the vets, Warren was involved early and often, connected with both AR-15 and Daniel Jones, making big plays downfield. The tight end position is it's a good position. It's when you get a top five tight end, that could definitely catapult your season. Everybody from maybe 6, 7 on down, they just the spot that you got to fill. Tyler Warren can very well be this year's Brock Bowers, my opinion. And is he the first tight end off the board? Yes, but I don't think he goes as high as he was mocked because people have other needs. People have other needs, but Tyler Warren, People had other needs than Brock Bowers, but Brock Bowers was everybody knew where he was gonna go. And my thing was, and I tried to be slick. I'm gonna go ahead and get you out of that. And I talked about this before. I was trying to be slick. I wanted Lad. Everybody didn't believe in Lad. I knew Lad was gonna be Lad, and he turned out to be Lad. But I played it wrong. I did, and I own that. And I ended up costing myself pick nine this year. So it is what it is. But I think Warren's gonna be that nigga. And tight ends, if you can get a great Bowers, Kittle, what's the white boy out of New York? I mean out of the Jets, Conklin, Kittle, nigga out of KC. If you could get one of those, man, that's the way to go. But I think other teams have needs, so I don't think he goes as high as he was mocked. In my opinion.
I think that bringing back to the Brock Bowers, as I was told, I made a mistake, but again, you draft like you just said, who you need and which you see your vision for your team. Okay. We can't predict the future, but we can always talk about the past.
Remember, CEH was the number 1 overall pick.
And so I think that Ty Warren will definitely help AR solidify that starting position.
So you think AR wins out?
I think AR wins out because Daniel Jones is who he is. He's Daniel Jones.
You're contradicting
but if he starts and gets 9 games, I
personally think DJ wins out.
I think AR is going to win out. I think Warren is going to help him. I think Josh Downs is going to help out. We'll see if what Pittman does as far as that, because I just really have never been a Mike Pittman. I liked his daddy, of course, because he was a Bucks. But what I'm saying, Junior just ain't really did it for me as far as that. That's just me. But I think that AR can win out that spot. I think Warren, being the type of tight end that he is, and he's definitely going to get open to where he can be seen, because AR just running off and doing his own thing, playing, backyard football, that's not going to work. That's just not going to work here. Not in this league. But I would like to see if, the Jaguars number 1 pick would like to see him in the open field. And see how that works out.
Let's go ahead and segue. I want to go get into some more of these rookies. I want to get into more of these rookies. So you brought up the Jaguars rookie, Mr. Travis Hunter. And you had some criticism. I personally, I think everything about him is correct. He is a cheat code. And as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be a force, because at the end of the day, to get a possible guaranteed, because even if he has an okay game on offense and an okay game on defense, or a good game on one and an okay on the other, he's still going to get you 15 points. 15 points. Easy. That's just 7 points on either end of the ball. And that's in your cornerback spot. So essentially, like he said, he's starting 8 slots. And I got to give him his credit. Dude GM the hell out of this. He did. And he got rid of the injured running back in party. Never mind. I'm sorry. What are your thoughts? Because I know you're critical of him. You think he's going to get
somebody to me that's overhyped. And I put him in my overhype. And the reason why, not because he does not have the athleticism, not because in college that he did his thing, and I commend the young man. But we heading into the big boy league, the NFL. This is where you find out what you're made of. The thing is, the competition that you played in college is in college competition. You playing the best of the best now. And so my thing is, first of all, focus on learning how to be the best cornerback you can be. Give him about 5 to 10 plays that he needs to memorize on offense. put him out there for a distraction or two, and
Mm.
see how he does. On top of that, we're asking him to help out Trevor Lawrence, who's coming off an injury. And is he the number 2 wide receiver? Is he going in the slot? How are we playing him as far as that? Is
He
he running
definitely
the
gonna be
five? Is he
decoy
running the
for
5 or is he
times.
running the 7? Things that we need to find out as far as how is he's going to do on the side of the ball that people think that he's going to excel in the NFL. I think cornerback is going to be the thing that is he's going to do well. He's going to be like one of those linebackers that do get you 15 points a game, but
I've had one a time or two.
and every year you get a linebacker.
EJ
Barton,
Speed for sale, people. Just
Barton,
shameless
Cody,
plug.
Cody Barton played for the Broncos.
He for sale too. Got him.
That was a linebacker that was real dependent. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So it's one of those things that I think that he will help out a fantasy owner. So I'm not
Mm.
gonna say that. But as far as that longevity, how he's gonna play the NFL is gonna make him play one position, whether he likes it or not. And
Mm.
he get down there in Duval. And it is what it is,
How
man.
many points you think he averaged?
Between 10 and 12 a
10 and
game.
12. 10 and
And
12
that's and that's
points.
and that's solid. That's solid. That's
That's a
solid.
great game for an average cornerback. And if you can guarantee that you get 10 to 12 points every week from your cornerback slot,
But what happens that week? What happens that week that you need him to go off as the wide receiver on your team, and he only played as a decent cornerback? He didn't
if
do
you
nothing
need,
for you on the wide receiver game.
if you, and this is where I go back, I got to give Roy and Team Commish their flowers. I was going to say, if you are in a position where you need Travis Hunter to go off on offense, then
Mhm.
you've already lost. There's no, you can't be in that situation. Team Commish happens to not be in that situation. He does not need Travis Hunter to go off on offense. He needs him to have a decent, solid game on both ends of the ball when he's in there, and it's a winner for him. Now,
This is where I have to call hate alert.
okay, hate alert, people, and here it comes.
Team commish, and I tried to be modest. I tried to not bring this up about Lord Android. You need everything you need to win the season that you claim the championship that you're gonna have this year. And 10 points from Travis Hunter is not gonna do it. You better hope them boys down there in Duval don't catch up with his wife. Because then you're gonna have a different issue you got to worry about, young man.
Come
And
on.
Dion can't help you out there. So therefore, in that standpoint, we're gonna have the NFL is gonna humble this young man. As far as on team commission, he needs more than that. He already traded away players to his cousin that obviously, I guess he was saying that they're dead weight. He got rid of all them to get Travis Hunter. He
I
got that
can't.
Travis Hunter was the piece he needed to go ahead and extend it to the playoffs. If we gonna have it this year, and he said it on the show already.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, he winning, he taking it all the way.
Mm-hmm.
And Travis Hunter gonna do it.
As much as it pains me to say, he's definitely the favorite right now. I'm just saying. That's my. And again, only because I call it fair and balanced, because you hoe ass niggas always want to say I'm biased or I hate or this, that, and the other. No, I call the shit like I see it, call it fair and balanced. Like I said, the nigga GM the fuck out of this. But
He gonna be the Knicks of this
listen,
season. That's what the hell he gonna be. The Knicks of this
Team
season.
Commish, bring it in. Listen to me. If you do not win it all, it's not going to be good. And that's all I'm going to say. And I'll go on from there. What's the next rookie? What you looking at on next? What you hearing out on the rookies?
I want to see how the Broncos rookie RJ Harvey does down there and see what he
Really
does.
quick, I want to go back to Harvey, but before, since we was already in Duval, running back. Who gets it?
Travis is
Etienne.
Travis is out the door. Travis is out the door. ETN is out. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think he had his time. I think they need to see what they got in tank. Worst case scenario as far as that you got to get you another running back. And don't worry, they'll be high in the drafts to get them a nice running back. So, they know that they're building for the future. Come on now. They know
I
that they're building.
I honestly think the rookie beats out Tank.
Okay.
I think the rookie beats him out. Niggas gonna say I'm
If he
hating, but it
does,
is what it is. So anyway, back to it. RJ Harvey. What you got? What you hearing? What you like? Talk to me.
I like RJ Harvey because I thinking down there with Bo Nix, he's gonna need that run game. Because besides Sutton, I mean, who else are you throwing it to?
Valet, the number two. Valet for
Yeah.
sale too, y'all. You
I
hating?
mean,
Are
here's
you
the
hating,
thing.
nigga?
I look at it like this: you got Mims, and so I think that they're going to go ahead and run that ball. You already
Mhm.
shipped out Javante out to the Cowboys. McMillan's there. He to me is not solidified that starting role. So I think Harvey is going to get a lot of playing time, and I think that he can quietly get 1,000 yards. I think
Mm.
quietly he can get 1,000 yards.
Mm.
And so I want to see how he pans out. I do look at I look at the Chargers and Hampton, and I wonder how they're gonna pass that ball to Trey Harris, their wide receiver that they drafted in the second round from Ole Miss, and
Whew.
see how that turns out as far as does this transition to the Harbaugh offense? Because I mean he got a lot out of JK last year before JK went down. And so I think Hampton has some fresh legs. Get him out there, see what he do. I know you like Lad. We'll see if Herbert can get the ball. They need a tight end, though. I ain't even gonna lie. They need a tight end because Will Disley is not gonna do it. But
You
Hampton and Trey Harris, I want to see how that combination go in down there in the Chargers as far as what they do in LA.
two
And
rookies, two positions. First and foremost, they brought in Najee Harris. They signed him in the offseason, but they still drafted Hampton. Najee is going to lose to Hampton, and he's going to lose convincingly to Hampton. That leaves Imani Vidal out. And the only way that Vidal still makes the team is if he beats out Najee. I don't see it. Just don't. But who knows? So I got Hampton taking over that running back spot. Trey Harris, Ole Miss. You got Ladd, their number one wide receiver, the number 4 pick last year. QJ, trash. Trash. Hot fucking garbage. Hot garbage. So Trey Harris coming in and jumping in at number 2 is not a stretch. It's just not going. It's not nothing. But because I'm fair and balanced, so niggas can't say I hate. I've been hearing some good things out of Chargers camp about QJ. They say he a different nigga than he was 6 months ago. I'd love to see it, but you never know. I think Trey comes in at a solid number 2. Lad's still gonna be that nigga, and Omarion Hampton he takes over, and Najee continues to be not shit.
I do like that. What's your thoughts on RJ?
Sean Payton had uh, who was that nigga used to beat my ass in the Saints? Yeah, that motherfucker, every time I faced him and Breeze, Kamara, that motherfucker broke a foot off in my ass. Every fucking time. I see Harbaugh doing the same thing with Harvey. And Harvey is not going to quietly get 1,000 yards. I see Harvey hitting around 1150, close to 1,200 rushing. Not all purpose, rushing. And the Broncos with their defense and Bo Nix coming on and that addition since they got McMillan gone, I really think that the Broncos they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with. They might win their division. If not, further. You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first, folks.
Wow. So that's a big commitment there, for the AFC West.
I like I got to me, and I'm not, and I'm gonna be fact checked on this that, another. I think I have a good eye for running backs. When everybody and this, listen, y'all, this ain't. I only go back to it because it's a good example. I told everybody CEH wasn't shit. Nobody wanted to listen, and we see how that worked out. But also, I drafted Vidal. I also drafted Cam Akers, Marshawn Lloyd, but he was more so insurance. I've drafted and been wrong on running backs before. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of Saquon Barkley at first. Wasn't. And I own the fact that I was wrong. But I really think RJ does his thing. And I think I got a good eye for running backs. Because even going back, they're going to say this is self-glazed and blah, blah, blah. But I remember when I traded Zeke, even before I traded Zeke, I said I was drafting Zeke. And niggas said I was crazy. I then turned around and flipped Zeke for Josh Jacobs and David Montgomery. When I got ready to trade Zeke, they said I was crazy, but I wanted both them niggas. And they turned out to be who they are. I got a good eye for running backs. RJ going to be that nigga.
Well, I have to say, I mean, if that's your track record, I like that because I tell you what, Jonathan Brooks is not a good running back in my
Oh,
opinion.
God. I went down that alley with you.
Yeah, I'm glad we can both agree on what's a good running back to
I
draft.
never liked Jonathan Brooks, and I let that be known off tops. And it wasn't because he got injured. It wasn't some shit from this year. It wasn't some shit from last year. I did not like him coming out of college, and I made that known.
Mm-hmm.
But to trade for a motherfucker that ain't gonna play this year, that's batshit crazy. And yes, the best ability is availability. And when you injured on the physically unable to perform list, that's not availability.
I personally didn't care for him because he's a, division rival. And Jonathan Brooks reminds me of somebody I've never liked, which was Jonathan Stewart. And so, and they both were Panthers. So it's just one of those things that is my hate goes that deep. And to be told that I will be drafting a Panther in the mock draft is only more disrespect for me to
Insulting.
enjoy it. And I
So
see the
that
pattern.
I get it. And we don't necessarily always want to play like fans because we are still running an organization. I get flack for not drafting BTJ. But I let it be known off tops why I didn't draft BTJ. I did not like his quarterback. Trevor Lawrence is trash. He is. And I know right now as Team Commish watches this, he's stewing. Stewing he is. But he's not. I mean, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And you, cousin, are just as much of a stat guy as I. And you know Just like you told us on the last show, remember? Where did Caleb finish? 16. Then he said, where did Jordan Love finish? I was like 17. So that means that Caleb was better than Jordan Love. Fuck the injury, fuck all that shit. It's fine. I get it. You're absolutely correct. Numbers don't lie. So if we're going down that same alley with that same premise, his numbers ain't that. His numbers ain't that. You know it. But you want to play like a fan, like a homer, like you from Duval. And I'm sorry, your boy is trash. But that's why I didn't pick BTJ. And sometimes you don't pick a player based on landing spot, offense, coach, quarterback, or just overall situation. My opinion.
I'm going to ask you this, if you don't mind, me bringing up any teams that you're looking at in this offseason that made some moves that, because it was a team that I wanted to ask you about, which was your Raiders, and how that Geno move was going to transition into, is he going to be able to utilize your player, Brock Bowers, the way you want him to be utilized?
The Raiders, they drafted themselves a running back. Now, this is twofold. Not necessarily, hey, just going with what we say, history is being what it is. The motherfucker that's slated to draft Ashton Genty, the last Raiders player he drafted is still sitting in lockup. He's bad for Raiders players. I hope Genty goes out and does his thing. Geno, getting back to your original question, he had a tumultuous NFL career until he got to Seattle. They bust him in his shit in New York in the Jets, and there was a bust him in his shit. This is the thing, man. You can't. I don't give a fuck who you are. As a man, you gonna respect my shit. And even though the nigga was a third string linebacker that didn't, you go out there, you bust the starting quarterback in his shit. Yes, go ahead and pack your fucking locker. Are you out your goddamn mind? But hey, he owed that nigga some money. Geno went to Seattle, got reborn, and now he's in Vegas. Geno's always been a good quarterback to me. He's kind of like I'm seeing him, Milroe, down in Dallas. He's going to go ahead and take that starting job in a second. Easy. But when he was the backup in New England, I saw him. I watched him in preseason. Dude is nice. He gonna do his thing down there. So I see Milroe having that. I started as a backup. Now I'm out here doing my thing. Geno is going to go to Las Vegas, and I really think the tight end is always going to be your safety valve, and I'm sure the offense at this particular point last year revolved around Bowers. Now you're going to factor in and mix in the Genty. So I think the Genty is only going to open up the pass game for Geno. But when you get down to it, who else he throwing to?
I mean, that's what I'm wondering as far as how they gonna work out with that, and just if it's gonna affect your boy. I definitely got to see how J-Dub in Washington, do in this next season, because with him adding, saying Debo, them getting that
Mm-hmm.
line together with Larry Tunsil on there, and then you still got Scary Terry. You still, I like Brian
Noah
Robinson.
Brown, the number 2, he's for sale. Shameless plug. Get at me,
And
niggas.
Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler. I mean, you still
Brian
got.
Robinson ain't did shit but get shot.
I mean, Brian Robinson coming to the field, getting them goal line touchdowns that I like to get. But it is what it is. Just a quick touchdown at that goal line. That's all I need you to do. I don't need 100 yards from him. But I definitely want to see what year 2 looks like for J Dub, because he came in, did his thing. I think he was probably the best draft pick last year that
Mm-hmm.
outperformed that whole class. And I want to see
Everybody.
if he can do it again this year, and with more weapons if he's going to be a force to reckon with in this upcoming year in the league and also too in the fantasy football league. Because if you got him on your team, it's almost like, and I give Team Commish this, having Saquon is like having a cheat code.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the most reliable running back. Having J Dub as far as that to me is almost you drafted the new, I ain't gonna say LJ, but I'm gonna say damn near close to where you can just slap 30 on the board and
Mm-hmm.
every game
Minimum
almost.
25. Easy.
So
You can mark it down. JD was, like you said, he outperformed everybody in his class in the NFL side. It was definitely a great pick. Shout out to the world boss on tanking to get that motherfucker. And he rode JD all the way to the championship game. World Boss has always been a formidable opponent when he wasn't tanking and shit like a little girl. But when he out there, he on his shit. He on his shit, and JD, Justin Jefferson. You know, these are his team is Bijan Robinson. You know, those three right there. Your wide receiver, your quarterback, and your running back are all top five in their position. Easy, light work. You add in some extra pieces. Like I said, you tank for both them niggas, and the fact is the fact you tank like a little girl. But it is what it is. Roll them niggas to the championship game, and it's gonna be interesting. I really think we talked about team commish, and that South is brutal. Chibo has had team commission's number, but I honestly, if team commission loses this year, it'll probably be to the world boss, and I honestly can see the world boss possibly winning that division.
well, who knocked out Team Commish last year?
That would be Chibo Burgers. He gave him his first loss. Who did he lose to in
In
the
the regular season.
playoffs? Oh, he lost to Hurricane Walker,
Yeah, he
I
lost to
believe.
Hurricane Walker, but in the regular
Yeah,
season, Shebo gave that L to him as far
yeah.
as
Regular season, Chibo gave him that one. In the playoffs, I believe it was Hurricane Walker who went on and won the title, won the championship, knocking off back to back weeks, Team Commish, and then World Boss. So shout
yeah.
out to the champs, the motherfucking champs, Hurricane Walker in their sophomore season. You got to give it up to them. Yeah, that was it is.
I think that I definitely am seeing some things to look out for, but I wonder when Team Commish got rid of Mahomes, you know, if you could have kept that combination, even seeing adding a player that he said that was trash on my team, which is worthy, or seeing what Rice does,
Mm,
when he comes back, because I do want to see what Rice, Worthy, and Mahomes do. And
trash.
see if man,
Mahomes not Mahomes not anymore. Worthy, his he didn't work out. He just did.
I, I agree to disagree.
Mm,
And I'm gonna stick by my pick, you
as
know.
you should.
But if Worthy needs to find a new home, everybody on my team is available. If
Mm.
Jesus was on my team, hey, if you got the right pick, you can come get him.
Oh, yeah. I tend to give up on motherfuckers that don't perform to my liking. And some people say that's good, some people say that's bad. But I'm quick to drop a motherfucker that I don't fuck with. But man, that was interesting. That was definitely insightful, and I fucks around with it. Other than that, we covered the Browns. You think Shador could be traded, but you said who was that
Oh, no,
Flacco
no,
that
no,
we
no,
lost?
no, 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 not traded, not traded. Can be let go, can
Oh,
be picked up by another team. He could any. If he sticks on the team for the remainder of the year, there has to be something as a reason they kept him. And my reason that I think it is not because of play performance. I'm not thinking that's the case.
You do know he went 13 for 13 in the last practice. Didn't miss a one. 13 for 13 on 11-11. Just saying.
Who? He threw it to Judy.
He did.
He threw it to Judy. Joku.
He went 13 for 13.
Okay. I mean, I'm just saying as far as that. I mean, was the pads on?
No, they're not in pads yet.
Okay. So
I'm just giving you the numbers, my guy.
I get it. I saw a video of Cam Ward eating his ass up and talking shit. So I mean, hey, until you get out there and see what it is, and I say this, he's under a lot of pressure. He's having that LeBron Bronny effect going on, where his father has put that type of pressure for him to be what his father was in the league, and you can't be Dion. You can't come in there with that mindset.
No.
So we'll see how he do.
So again, for the record, who's the odd man out?
Gabriel out first.
Gabriel out. Okay.
Yeah, but he gonna hold the door open for Shador. And
next one.
Me, team commission Shador will all be at Applebee's by the end of the year.
You are a motherfucker. You know that. AR-15 or DJ?
AR-15.
Disagree. You don't know shit. Does Cam Ward start? Is he the number one guy?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
He gotta be number one pick, yo.
Gotta be. It ain't Will Levis.
It ain't Will.
Yeah. Will Levis might be in Pittsburgh for the years out.
Shador will be there before. I looked at the thing, and Mike Tomlin was basically, when everybody asked, he was like, listen, it wasn't me. I liked the nigga. The shit's bigger than Nino Brown. Just did.
Now, I'll say this. If Shador did go to Pittsburgh, yeah, I think that his career will probably, because I think Pittsburgh has shut down a lot of that shit. I think they're shutting down a lot of that shit. And having a running back that they drafted like Caleb Johnson there to help out with that'd be cool. But again, you're throwing it to DK. You just lost George Pickens. Having a diva wide receiver for Shador, is that really going to help him out? Because you need somebody that got some experience. And Judy ain't even the guy that's going to be able to tell him, like, give me the fucking ball.
We're going to talk about Pittsburgh's backfield on the next show and these rookies, because I think Warren loses his shit too. But, man, that was a bomb-ass show, man. You want to give the people something to say on the way out? You want to holler at them?
I want to say to all the teams out there, good luck, because Team Commit said he already got the championship. Lord Hate is here to hate on everybody's team. Fuck your team. Fuck what you own. If you playing my team, fuck your team. I hope y'all lose. Everybody had COVID. Everybody.
Fuck your team as a staff, as a record label, as a motherfucking crew. Fuck you.
But hey, it's been great, man. It's been great.
Well, that's the show, people. This has been real. Listen, I want to say thank you for joining us for this week in OTAs. I hope y'all enjoyed this shit. Hope y'all find the shit that we bring informative and utilize it to your best ability. We don't hate around here. Well, he does. I don't hate around here. I call this shit firm balance. I call it how I see it, unbiased. And Judy was a fucked up trade with your stupid ass. Anyway, that's the show. From me to you, you to yours. We out this motherfucker. Peace.